Hello everyone and welcome to Fox Sports World's coverage of the English Premier League. I am Ridge Mahoney at the Fox Sports World studios in Los Angeles, and today from Highbury, one of the big matches of the day and a big day of play here in the Premier League, it's Arsenal against Aston Villa. Again, I'm Ridge Mahoney. The Gunners have already lost twice this season, once at home. They did not lose at home all last year. In 19 games last year, the Gunners had 12 wins and 7 draws, but they have already tasted defeat here at Highbury. And let's take a look at the lineups for today's game in the Premier League. First for Arsenal, lots of problems in the central midfield, so Gilles Grimandi gets her first start of the season in midfield. Of course, he can also play in the back. And Davor Suker gets his first start up front since his transfer over the summer. And remember, Keown and Adams both played in midweek for England. David Seaman still out with an injury. For Aston Villa, 3 in the back. The only loss that Aston Villa has had so far this season was an own goal by Iogu. He's back, though, with Southgate and Calderwood. Up front, of course, Dion Dublin is amongst the goals once again with 4 so far in the season. And Paul Merson, a former Arsenal man, he won 5 trophies before he was transferred to Middlesbrough in July of 1997. Did not want that transfer as it was, and Paul Merson always relishes the opportunity to play against his former club, particularly at Highbury. There was a quick look at the manager for Arsenal, Arsene Wenger. The Arsenal captain is Mr. Adams, of course, Tony Adams, and Gareth Southgate for Aston Villa. Last year, these two teams split their 2 meetings. Arsenal won 3-2 here in Highbury. Arsenal won 1-0 here in Highbury, and Aston Villa had an exciting 3-2 win at Villa Park. The good news for Arsenal is, of course, they have played their tough teams earlier in the season. The bad news is they've already lost to Liverpool and Manchester United, and this is a game here at home they must win. Arsenal in 7th place, Aston Villa in 2nd place. Top clash here in the Premier League. Let's go now to our match commentator live from Highbury.
It's going to be Aston Villa to kick us off in the scorching sunshine in North London. The last time Arsenal lost 2 in a row in the league was just after they pinched the title a couple of seasons ago, when they took their foot off the pedal and were beaten by Liverpool and Aston Villa. In their previous game of this season, they lost at Liverpool, and a strange quirk of footballing fixture fate now sees them up against Aston Villa. This is Nigel Winterburn aiming for Bergkamp. It skims off his head, but it's cleared by Alan Wright. Now Merson back on familiar territory. Winterburn back to Adams, who was outstanding for England in Poland and against Luxembourg. Lee Dixon. And Parler has been pegged back for a foul on Alan Wright. Ray Parler, who played for England also against Luxembourg, but not in Poland, just barged little Alan Wright out of the way. Parler, the Supporters Player of the Year here last season. Charge David Ellery, all smiles at the moment. Away by Adams, helped on by Grimandi. Patrick Vieira. A hurried kick by Alan Wright is met by the red boots of Martin Keown. Bergkamp with the layoff to Parler. Vieira finds himself in a bit of space. He sold Overmars short, and Delaney stepped in. Vieira winning it back, but it's just trickled out for a throw into Aston Villa. We've only conceded 1 goal in their 3 away games so far this season, and that was an own goal from Hugo Ekiyog in a defeat at Chelsea. Their only defeat indeed so far this campaign. Vieira stuck his long leg in. Here's Paul Merson, though. Just too high for Hendry. Dixon capitalises. It's cleared by Merson, though. Now Joachim, who's got a lovely turn of pace. He'll love to have a go at Adams and Keown today. Gareth Southgate, the Villa captain. Coventry have taken the lead against Leeds at Highfield Road. And the Leeds player, Gary McAllister, on target. Here's Overmars. Bergkamp. Davor Suker. Winterburn. It's going to come to Lee Dixon, and he put it through. And Gilles Grimondi unable to make decent contact. He went from one full-back to the other, and very nearly fell to Grimondi. A wayward header from Winterburn has given Villa a throw. Villa with wins over Newcastle, Everton, Watford and Middlesbrough so far. They drew with West Ham, lost at Chelsea. This is another big test for them. They didn't particularly fare too well against teams who finished in the top 5 last season. In fact, of the top 5 teams, Arsenal were the only one that they managed to beat. 3-2 at Villa Park in December. Foul on Bergkamp by Calderwood back in North London, where he played for Arsenal's fierce rivals Tottenham Hotspur. Bergkamp. Like a handball by Hendry, but the referee lets Grimondi get on with it. Adams. Winterburn in space. Overmars nearby. Lee Dixon. Tyler now. Dixon continued advancing. It's come off Hendry, and it will be a corner kick to Arsenal in front of their famous clock end here. Coventry 1-0 up against Leeds at Highfield Road through Gary McAllister. Tony Adams amongst those loitering, likewise Martin Keown. Winterburn's corner, deflected by David James, even though Dion Dublin got in his way a little bit. An anxious moment this, as Dublin collided with his own man, James. Huge kick from the keeper will go straight through to his opposite number, Alex Meninga, who continues to deputise for the injured David Seaman. Southgate watching that one. Away by Alan Wright, up towards Dion Dublin. The throw-in goes the way of Arsenal. Grimondi helped it on to Bergkamp, but Calderwood did enough. Tyler nipped in with a header. Grimondi scooping it into his path and finding Overmars, who has Winterburn overlapping. Fine challenge by Mark Delaney, which sums up the sort of form that he's been in, keeping Steve Watson out of the side. Grimondi, Tyler, Dixon. It's aimed towards Davor Shuka, but dealt with by Southgate. Grimondi putting himself about. Snapped clear by Ekiog. And now Merson has it. Delaney. Stopped in his tracks by Winterburn. Presents Arsenal with a throw, and they don't hang around. Here's Davor Shuka. Only Bergkamp in the middle at the moment. I say only. Shuka sets it up for Lee Dixon. His cross cleared by Taylor. Here's Grimondi though. Overmars aiming to give Delaney a testing time. Delaney winning that duel though. Just look at Julian Joachim go. Dixon. Shuka. He was asking a lot of Overmars, and Delaney getting stuck into Winterburn as well. Here's Adams. Grimondi. Dixon. Parler. Borderwood read that. Now Dion Dublin. Hendry. Dion Dublin. Determined not to lose out here. And doing enough for Villa. Southgate, though, has been penalised for his ferocious challenge on Mark Overmars. Arsenal so far have beaten Leicester, Derby and Bradford. They drew at Sunderland and lost to Liverpool and Manchester United. Here's Overmars, and he's going to go for goal! Splendid strike from Overmars. The sort of strike, mind you, we've come to expect of him. He caught it cleanly, very cleanly. And it just skimmed over from the Dutchman. Leeds have equalised against Coventry at Highfield Road. Lee Bowyer on target. Coventry 1, Leeds 1. And Dixon steers it back to Maninga. He's only kept 2 clean sheets in his 7 games so far this season. Ekiov clears, but only to Overmars. Taylor. Joachim chasing, and it's covered by Keown. 10 minutes played here at Highbury. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 0. And a rather tentative start from both teams. That could change now, though, as Southgate steams into Arsenal territory. Bergkamp. Gets the throw off Alan Wright. And he'll leave it for Lee Dixon, who's played over 500 games for Arsenal in his 11 years here. Bergkamp to Keown. England's central defensive duo. Came out of the Poland match with quite a bit of credit, in actual fact. Not many others did. Here's Parler. Parler slipping it through to Davor Shuka, who just lost sight of it, and it bobbled off his boot and behind for a goal kick. Shuka had a big fallout with Real Madrid. John Gregory, the Aston Villa manager, with Steve Harrison, his number 2. They'll have quite a town come the end of the day. He'd quite like to have 3 points too. Doug Ellis, his chairman. There were rumours recently that all was not well between manager and chairman. Rumours that were played down by both. Overmars tripped on the edge of the area, and it's going to be a yellow card for Mark Delaney. Overmars in full flight, not much doubt about it. Taken out by Delaney, who gets the first yellow card of the game. And a free kick in a very promising position for Arsenal, especially when you have somebody like Dennis Bergkamp to take it. Villa sorting out their wall. Bergkamp is actually knocked up in the air by Dublin, and David James has spilled it. And Villa has somehow scrambled it away. David James felt he was fouled, but then I suppose he would have felt that after seeing the ball squirm out of his reach. He's actually been in fine form since his move from Liverpool. Overmars aiming one towards Parler. Did well to keep it in, but Dixon couldn't. And it'll be a Villa throw. Well, an anxious moment for David James here. Now, was he impeded? Looks like he just dropped it, and Shukur very nearly pounced for his first Arsenal goal. David James hoping to rebuild his career. Winterburn. Merson's layoff finds Hendry. And Hendry was quickly charged down. Here's Shuker. Bergkamp effortlessly brought under control by Dennis Bergkamp. He couldn't quite get the better of Hugo Ekiod though. And Villa get themselves out of trouble. Now trouble is what they really could have been in had Bergkamp found a way through then. Joachim forces Grimondi into conceding a corner kick. Wimbledon 0, Derby 1 at Selhurst Park. Horacio Carbonari, Derby's Argentinian defender, has got the goal. And more problems for Sheffield Wednesday. They trail Everton 1-0. Nicky Barmby on target at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Everton 1. Alan Wright's corner is met by Parler. Here's Delaney, giving it back to Wright. And this bounces in the direction of Joachim, but not for long. Winterburn ensured that. Quarter of an hour played at Highbury, no goals so far. Here's Lee Dixon. Davor Shuker. Tinked it through to Grimondi, now Bergkamp. Dixon. Parler. Arsenal looking menacing here. Grimondi and Davor Shuker pulled it back on the volley. Parler tried to do the same. Didn't quite work for him. It's an Arsenal throw. Grimondi back to Dixon. Cordoba got a kick in the face from Dennis Bergkamp. Dangerous high boot from the Dutchman. And Cordoba, a former Spurs man, not getting a great deal of sympathy here at Highbury, that's for sure. It's Middlesbrough 0, Southampton 1. Hassan Kashlul on target for the Saints. But Gary Pallister has just equalised for Middlesbrough in that game, so it's 1-1. Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 1. "25-yarder" by all accounts from Pallister. Jim Walker, the Aston Villa physio, attending to Colin Corderwood, who turned out to be an inspired signing by John Gregory last season, shoring up the defence. Vast experience, of course. There were a few eyebrows raised when Aston Villa signed him, but he's done a solid job. Arsene's Arsenal desperately hoping for a win to take into their first Champions League game against Fiorentina. Hugo Ekiod taking the direct route towards Joachim, but Winterburn always favourite to win it. And there was a little pull on Vieira from Merson, which gives Arsenal a free kick. Tony Adams. Parler. Dixon nearby. Grimondi finds his fellow countryman Vieira. Adams striding purposefully, but Southgate doing similar for Villa. Merson a bit crowded out. Southgate came to his rescue. Mercer now looking for Joachim. Keown beats Dublin to it, but here's Ian Taylor. A rather stray one from him. Coventry 2 leads 1 at Highfield Road, and John Aloisi has put the Sky Blues in front, the Australian international. And Everton have now gone 2-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday. Scott Gemmell with the second at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Everton 2. Problems increasing for Danny Wilson. John Gregory hasn't had too many problems this season. His team lying second in the table. And with 18.5 minutes on the clock at Highbury, it remains 0-0. Dixon trying to do something about that. Bergkamp might just do something about it, but David James was quickly out. He sprung off his line to smother at the feet of the Dutchman. Villa's defence prized apart. Taylor. Temperatures in London today well into the 80s. It's hot out there. Lee Hendry. Taylor. Dublin. Merson. Looking for Delaney. Most players would have knocked that into touch, but not Winterburn. And Villa with a throw. Delaney's long throw, and he'll get the chance to take another one here. As Aston Villa put a bit of pressure on the Arsenal rearguard. Delaney's long throw, and Dublin tussling with Adams, unable to get enough on it. Waste of a kick really from Meninga. Here's Gareth Southgate. That one's going to drift into touch though for an Arsenal throw. It's a little scrappy so far between two teams who you would expect better of. Adams. Vieira. Winterburn. Bergkamp. How about that for a pass to Lee Dixon? He wastes no time getting his cross in, and Davor Schuka's header drops high and wide. A sweeping Arsenal move though. Bergkamp picking out Dixon, who in turn picked out Schuka. To little avail in the end. Firm header from Adams. Ekiog being chased by Schuka. Vieira. Would it open up here for Arsenal? Ray Parlour. Lee Dixon. Towards Bergkamp. Overmars is going to retrieve this for the Gunners. And you can be sure he's going to have a run at Delaney, who's stuck doggedly to his task. It's an Arsenal corner. Mark Delaney was working in a woolen factory just over a year ago, playing for Carmarthen Town in the League of Wales. He then went to Cardiff, and now he's at Villa and up against Overmars. It'll be Overmars to swirl the corner in. Adams was allowed a free header. Bergkamp. James coming for it and getting it and trying to put Joachim away, but Lee Dixon was covering for his two central defenders who had gone up for the corner. Raimondi. Midway through the first half. Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 0. his pass actually hit the referee, David Ellery. And it's inadvertently set up an Arsenal attack here with Overmars. Suka was looking for the return, but they weren't quite on the same wavelength that time. David Ellery will be rather pleased that they weren't, because it was he who set Arsenal rolling then. Bergkamp, and Davor Suka is away here. Southgate with him, but Suka still trying to get his shot in, and credit to Southgate for blocking that. Delaney under pressure from Winterburn. A Villa throw. You wonder if Davor Suka had been a little bit sharper with more matches behind him, whether he would have put Arsenal in front then. Overmars, Patrick Vieira, Grimondi, Parler. Arsenal making use of quite a few players here. Dixon. And Dixon's cross will drift behind. And as Bergkamp felt he was being impeded then by Ekiog. Not much in it though. Coventry 2-1 up against Leeds. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Everton 2, Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 1, Wimbledon 0, Derby 1. Hendry flicks it on here to Julian Joachim. Lee Dixon hacks it away. Joachim has been a regular under John Gregory, having spent life under Brian Little, largely on the bench. Mark Delaney seemingly planning one of his long throws here towards Dion Dublin. Hoisted into the box by Hendry, comfortably collected by Meninga. Nigel Winterburn looking for Bergkamp. James coming out and looking like he would get there, and he did. That was poor from Ekiog, straight to Dixon. Here's Parler, but in turn he couldn't find Suka. Won it back though off Calderwood. Ray Parler. Grimondi finds Bergkamp, and Alan Wright's missed kick sets it up for Davor Suka. David James might well have seen that late, because Gareth Southgate was surely in his line of vision then, and it was a good stop from Villa's keeper. Southgate, Merson, lovely flick on towards Joachim, but Adams says, "You're not getting past me." Adams outstanding as usual. Here's Patrick Vieira, who's not bad either, trying to bundle his way past Ekiog. Hendry, Delaney, Paul Merson. Delaney was caught late by Winterburn, but the referee has played the advantage here, and it could be an advantage to Villa, because Alan Wright has picked it up. An inviting cross, which is just going to drift behind in actual fact. And now treatment can be given to Mark Delaney. I can't help thinking Villa might have made more of that though, as Nigel Winterburn gets a delayed yellow card for his challenge on Delaney. This challenge, in fact, very late. It's Coventry 2, Leeds 2. Darren Huckabee with a goal against his former club for Leeds. Some game at Highfield Road. So Nigel Winterburn actually joins Delaney in the book. And he certainly felt the full force of Winterburn's challenge. The Premiership rookie Mark Delaney, but he's settled in really well to this Aston Villa team. Doesn't look too clever there, though, you have to say. Jim Walker checking his shoulder. And they'll be hoping that Delaney is able to carry on here. That was the challenge from Winterburn. Credit to David Ellery for playing the advantage. So they're going to have to check on Delaney, see whether he can carry on. Doesn't look particularly good for him at the moment. Bergkamp. Finding a yard or two. Dennis Bergkamp. And going for the chip. Well, if anyone can do it, he can. And it's always worth a go. Bergkamp only needed a slight glimpse of goal. Villa temporarily down to 10 men. It is a shoulder problem for Mark Delaney, but they are going to try and bring him back on, I think. Dixon's throw. Delaney has come back on. Parlour unable to find Dixon with the return. Rimondi's header. Dixon hassled by Dion Dublin, but he whipped his cross in. It was away by Southgate, and then by Joachim, and Patrick Vieira got his volley all wrong. Joachim had actually filled in at right wing back then when Delaney was getting treatment, but he's back on the field. Sunderland 1, Leicester 0, and the big defender Paul Butler has got the goal for Sunderland. Delaney still feeling his shoulder. Alan Wright. Only Joachim forward for Villa. But Winterburn knows what Julian Joachim is all about and doesn't give him a sniff. Conceding the throw, which will be taken by Paul Merson, who gets a great round of applause from the Arsenal fans nearby. Dublin. Ekiog. Delaney. Handball going against Arsenal. So it'll be the left foot of Alan Wright to send this one in. Header won by Dublin, but it goes straight up the other end with Dennis Bergkamp. Alan Wright whipped it off his toes. Calderwood. Aimed towards Dublin, which is always a pretty good idea. Cleared by Keogh. Just over half an hour played at Highbury. It's Arsenal 0, Aston Villa 0. Throw, finding Dublin, Hendry, Merson, across here to Delaney. And look at the space that he has. His first touch was dreadful, though. It allowed Winterburn to recover, and Adams hooked it away. And what a shame for Villa, because Delaney was in the clear then. Merson conceding a free kick here, and he's going to get a yellow card for it as well. Paul Merson, the former gunner, is booked by David Ellery for barging Mark Overmars to the ground. Keogh. Lee Hendry. Merson. Winterburn. Steered away by Calderwood to Alan Wright. Lee Hendry tripped by Parler. Southgate's free kick, met by Martin Keown. Clearance completed by Vieira, who rises again and beats Taylor to it. Calderwood stopping Shuka in his tracks. And David James seemed to hurt himself as he kicked that ball away. Coventry 2, Leeds 3. Ian Hart from the penalty spot has put Leeds United back in front. Now, David James is in need of treatment here at Highbury, because when he kicked the ball away last time, he seemed to do himself some damage. And Jim Walker has been a busy man in this first half, the Villa physio. A bit of a worry here for Villa, who have Finnish goalkeeper Peter Enkelman on the bench. He certainly felt a twinge then, David James, but looks like he will be okay. That's what happened. Just felt something as he kicked it away. So James is okay, and we're back in business with just less than 10 minutes of the first half remaining. Alan Wright, Lee Hendry, Vieira, Shuka, Vieira again, back to Adams, who sliced it somewhat, so Lee Dixon just sends it back to Alex Meninga. Meninga's huge kick, met by Ekiog, cleared by Delaney. Here's Winterburn though. Delaney's lob. Vieira. Grimondi. Dixon. Game needs a little spark from somewhere. Maybe Parler can provide it here. Setting up Lee Dixon for the cross. And Shuka was desperately hoping that Ekiog would miss it. Not much chance of that. Bergkamp. And still Bergkamp, cannoned off Calderwood. Tony Adams. Overmars. Bergkamp. Away by Ekiog, but Adams wins it back for Arsenal. Now Grimondi. And now Dixon, and the Gunners can pile the pressure on again here. Dixon delivers. And well, that might have come off Southgate. Double Shuka certainly felt so. Southgate, the Villa captain, was in the England squad this past week, but not involved. He's got to take the goal kick because of that problem David James has. Winterburn's throw, Bergkamp, lovely touch on to Overmars here. Overmars wasn't quite sure which way to go. A mistake from Bergkamp, who presented it straight to Lee Hendry. Keown hunted into Joachim, who's left on the ground. Here's Winterburn, now Overmars, and he's tripped. And another free kick in a promising position here for Arsenal, but Julian Joachim, before it's taken, will need a bit of treatment. I'm sure the Villa physio Jim Walker is having his busiest 45 minutes of the season. Uncompromising challenge, I think we could say, from Keown. Joachim is back on his feet. I think David Ellery will get the wall back a little bit further than that, that's for sure, before Arsenal can take this free kick. He's done just that. It's a game crying out for a touch of inspiration. And it's Overmars who tries to provide it, but it's blocked by the wall. Back in by Winterburn. Overmars, just as he was about to pull the trigger, Hendry put the safety catch on. Bergkamp won it back magnificently. Grimondi over the top here for Martin Keown. Super save from David James. The goal-scoring opportunity falling perhaps a little unlikely to Martin Keown. Dixon. Tyler, and blocked behind by Alan Wright for a corner. Martin Keown facing one of his former clubs today and very nearly scoring against them. Lovely touch. Foiled by James. Minutes of the first half remaining. Nigel Winterburn ready to deliver. It was Keown who met that. Merson muscled out Overmars. Tyler elects to send it all the way back to Alex Meninga. Arsenal certainly look the more likely scorers. Bergkamp floating one into the danger zone. Hendry with a neat turn away from trouble. Taylor almost ran into trouble though, and here's Ray Parlour. Dragged it wide. It all stemmed that from a mistake from Ian Taylor, who was crowded out by Arsenal. And Ray Parlour unable to find the target. David Ellery is looking at his watch while Sevilla take their time over these goal kicks. David James can't take them. Southgate took the last one. Nicky Odd takes this one. I think Southgate might be taking the next one. Here's Lee Dixon. Tyler. Dixon. Keown. It's away by Alan Wright to Joachim. Tony Adams surging forward for Arsenal. Here's Joachim. Fouled by Martin Keown. I think Joachim might feel he was owed that free kick, because Keown has never been very far away from him this afternoon. Been a frustrating afternoon for Villa's frontmen so far. 2 minutes of the first half remaining. And Gareth Southgate is going to get told to get a move on, I think, by David Ellery, who's a little bit concerned that Villa are taking their time, not only over the goal kicks, but obviously over that free kick as well. Southgate, no hanging around this time, that's for sure. Delaney won the header, but here's Vieira. Corderwood's header. Merson. Oh, wonderful from Merson, and he slips it through to Julian Joachim! Aston Villa have the lead on the stroke of half-time. Joachim, the Predator. But it was the magic of Merson against his former club that led to the goal. Just look at this juggling act here. Magnificent from Merson, and a fine finish from Joachim. And Highbury is stunned, and it's stunned by one of its old boys, Merson, and by the prowess in front of goal of Julian Joachim. Villa had a rare side of goal, and that's all they needed. Lee Dixon trying to hit back for Arsenal, but it's collected by David James. Arsenal, remember, with 2 defeats already this season, they can't afford a third. Goal coming in the final minute of the first half. Lee Dixon. Tyler chasing this one, but David James says, that's mine. Now, because of the injuries to mainly Villa players in the first half, there's going to be 5 minutes of added on time. Southgate's header. Bit of a smash and grab this from Villa. They've been under a fair bit of pressure, but who have stolen the lead. Lee Dixon. Bergkamp. Lovely touch through to Davor Shuka, who becomes an instant Highbury hero. Super from Shuka. Brilliant from Bergkamp too. And that is the Arsenal response to going a goal down. They were wounded, and it showed. The fancy flick from Bergkamp, duly dispatched by Davor Shuka. Missed a penalty at Liverpool. Drilled that one in. Typical Shuka finish, really. When he scores, they are usually tucked away in spectacular fashion. Ramondi now. Well, it took a while for this game to get going, but it certainly got going now. 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes. Julian Joachim putting Villa ahead. Davor Shuka equalising for Arsenal. Lee Hendry. Delaney. Winterburn to Vieira. And Taylor did the half bit and then stumbled over the ball. Parler. Dixon. Parler. Bergkamp not there where Parler wanted him to be. So a scare for Arsene Wenger and Pat Rice there, but a scare that only lasted a couple of minutes. back on level terms. Keown's header. Bergkamp. Hendry trying to get stuck into him. Southgate did beat Gramondi to it. Here's Joachim, Villa's goal scorer. Merson, creator of that goal. Adams sends it away to Parler, who sends it back to Meninga. We've played 4 minutes almost of added on time, so about another minute to go. A lot of Villa players needing treatment in this first half. Dixon, and Parler is going to be pulled back for a foul on Colin Calderwood. Needless to say, the home fans felt the former Tottenham defender made a meal of that. Difficult to see from that angle. It is half-time now. The first half that was dour for long periods, but it exploded into life when Paul Merson produced some sublime skills to set up Julian Joachim for a Villa goal. But Dennis Bergkamp was also the master creator for Arsenal. A fancy flick that put Davor Šuker in the clear. Šuker scoring his first goal for the Gunners. And at half-time in the North London sunshine, searing heat here in fact, it's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 1.
Well, thank you, Ian Crocker. A rather quiet opening 45 minutes, but some spectacular action in stoppage time at Highbury. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 1. Stay with us. We have a great halftime package coming up. You're watching the English Premier League on Fox Sports World.
Adidas English Premier League Soccer on CTV Sportsnet is brought to you by Adidas.
Psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff. Symptom: persistent, itchy, flaky scalp. Solution: Neutrogena T-Gel. It works. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
Volvo S70.
BMW 323i.
Brand new, just out of the box, and I already have questions.
How do I even know if you're going to show me everything I want to see?
You've got a guarantee on your parts and service, but I want a guarantee on your programming.
Only Star Choice promises you'll get every program you want. We're so confident you'll be satisfied. Try it for 30 days. If you don't love it, simply return it for a full refund. Star Choice. It's your television.
After all, you're only as good as what's on.
Whoa, Mike. You know what that gorgeous new girl just said to me?
You have the best buns.
Yeah, how'd you know?
You are the most scrumptious thing I have ever seen.
Exactly.
You drive me crazy. You're so delicious.
Man, what does she do? Tell every guy this stuff?
Who? What stuff?
Oh, hi.
When it tastes this great, nothing else matters. Double cheese with bacon. Twice the cheeseburger and twice the mouth-watering taste.
All right, I'll give it a shot, sure. Say, you want to bet?
Time. Its movement stops for no one, pulling athletes away from what they love too soon. But Floyd, Irwin, Palmer, Player, and the rest of the senior PGA do not fear the hand of time. They embrace it. For these legends, time is not running out. Their time is now. The Senior PGA on CTV Sportsnet. The Bank One Championship begins Friday.
Halftime at Highbury, and Arsenal has righted its ship somewhat after falling behind. Julian Joachim scoring for Aston Villa in the 44th minute, and then Davor Suker coming back as the Gunners rallied, gets the equalizer in the 45th minute or stoppage time, depending on whose watch you were watching. But Arsenal and Villa are tied here at Highbury at halftime with the score 1-1. Lots of action coming your way this season from the Premier League on pay-per-view tomorrow. Bradford City, one of the three promoted clubs battling to stay in the top flight. They go up against League Cup winners Tottenham Hotspur, featuring David Ginola. That's tomorrow on pay-per-view. And then on Monday, Chelsea, another one of the championship challengers, off to a good start this season, and a team really struggling, Newcastle United. Manager Ruud Gullit is out at Newcastle. What will the Magpies do now, trying to stay in the Premier League? They have spent a lot of money, as has Chelsea. Chelsea off to an outstanding start. Newcastle struggling. That's Monday here on Fox Sports World. We saw Davor Suker trying to repay that $5.6 million that Arsenal spent for it to get him from Real Madrid. Nicolas Anelka, of course, going in the opposite direction. Suker has scored in his first start for Arsenal, and they are tied at halftime with Aston Villa. Stay with us. We'll be back with the highlights and the second half from Highbury on the English Premier League on Fox Sports World.
Bigger than a space epic. Wow.
En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo, gracias a nuestro Señor Jesucristo, el amor del Padre y la comunión del Espíritu Santo sea contigo, Marco, y también con tu calzado. Amén.
Muchas gracias, Padre, por su bendición.
Buena suerte.
Goodbye touch-ups, hello continuous wear. You just wear it and go. No worries, no trouble, and touch-ups zero. Continuous wear, no touch-up foundation. Easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Time. Its movement stops for no one, pulling athletes away from what they love too soon. But Floyd, Irwin, Palmer, Player, and the rest of the senior PGA do not fear the hand of time. They embrace it. For these legends, time is not running out. Their time is now. The Senior PGA on CTV Sportsnet. The Bank One Championship begins Friday.
Psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff. Symptom, persistent, itchy, flaky scalp. Solution, Neutrogena T-Gel. It works. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
We're here at halftime at Highbury. It's 1-1 between Arsenal and Aston Villa. And let's go to first-time highlights. A lot of action. Most of it came towards the end of the half, although the early pressure came from Arsenal. Long shot here by Mark Overmars. Overmars had a good first half. He drew 2 fouls that resulted in yellow cards, but on that occasion, his shot went over the top. Another look at it. Good strike. Hits it cleanly, but it's about a yard or so over David James on the goal. Another chance for Arsenal. Free kick blocked into the middle. Now watch this. David James goes up for this ball. He's jostled. The ball drops free. A shot by Suker, and it is cleared. as David James had problems handling that ball. Another look at it. Looks like he was fouled. That's what he thought. And then that shot there blocked by Ekiog and cleared. More pressure from Arsenal. Lovely through ball here. Going in is Overmars with David James, who wrenched his knee in that half under the threat. That time was Bergkamp. But then a good entry pass here. Lovely little flick. Trouble in the back. And the shot from Suker. Suker, his first start for Arsenal. Looks like he's starting to find his range, but that shot went right to David James. And then a wonderful bit of magic. Look at Paul Merson mesmerize the Arsenal defense. And Julian Joachim, top scorer on the squad. That's his 5th of the season, 3rd in league play. And against the run of play, Aston Villa has taken the lead. The former Arsenal man Merson setting up Joachim for the goal. But then just a moment later, Davor Suker runs onto a lovely flick from Dennis Bergkamp. A traditional bit of magic from Dennis Bergkamp. And Davor Suker is on the board for his first goal for the Gunners. He rifles it into the top corner past David James. In stoppage time, Arsenal comes back to equalize, and it is 1-1. Let's take a look at the first half statistics. As you see, Aston Villa, that goal by Joachim, their only shot in the first half. 3 saves being made by their goalkeeper, David James. 3 corners to 1, and a yellow card for each squad in the first half. Picking up the yellows were Mark Delaney for Aston Villa. It's halftime at Highbury, just about ready for the start of the second half. So let's go back to Highbury. It's Arsenal 1, Aston Villa 1. With the call of the second half, we'll go to Ian Crocker.
Welcome back to Highbury. Aston Villa first out. Arsenal and Villa locked together here at 1-1. Some delay here waiting for Arsenal to appear. Well, Villa are ready and raring to go, but no sign of Arsenal yet. There is now, though, as Tony Adams leads the Gunners out for the second half here, and after a rather scrappy first half for the most part, it sprung into life with 2 goals in 2 minutes, right at the end of the half. Julian Joachim putting Villa in front after some wonderful work from Paul Merson, an Arsenal legend, of course. But the response from Arsene Wenger's team was pretty quick. A little fancy flick from Bergkamp and a drilled finish from Davor Suker made it 1 apiece. Temperatures in England's capital city today in the mid-80s, down at pitch level, probably higher than that, you would have thought, maybe even touching the 90s. Also in London, to the east of the city, it's West Ham 1, Watford 0, a goal for Paolo Di Canio right at the start of the second half there. West Ham going great guns at the start of the season. The Gunners are about to start the second half here at Highbury. Adams. Martin Keown now. Vieira. Dixon. Alan Wright has this one covered and should be able to marshal it behind for a goal kick, which won't be taken by David James, I think I can safely say, because he's going to take it. After all, he's ordered Gareth Southgate to go away. He's obviously overcome his little knock that he had in the first half. Paul Merson was sold by Arsene Wenger to Middlesbrough initially. Had a great time there before moving to the Midlands. Alan Wright's clearance goes only to Dixon. Wright again, thumps it away. Keown. Grimondi. Dixon. Down the line looking for Parler. Only held up temporarily by Alan Wright. Here's Bergkamp. And he's picked out Vieira, who lets it run to Overmars! Oh, what a miss! From Mark Overmars. Well, Overmars will wonder how he failed to find the mark here. It couldn't have been much more inviting than this. Relief for Villa, despair for Overmars. Well, that would have been some start to the second half for Arsenal, had they have turned it around. David James now with his knee heavily strapped. Peter Enkelman is the substitute keeper for Villa today, Finnish under-21 international. But the fact that James was quite happy to take the goal kick suggests that he might be all right. Here's Parler. Dixon. Bergkamp. Dixon going for the return, and Alan Wright has to concede the corner. Corner kick will be taken by Nigel Winterburn, who gets a fantastic reception as he makes his way over. Winterburn sent it in. Suka's header, confidently collected by David James. Glancing flick from Dabor Suka, who was seeking his second of the game. Now free kick has gone against David James here. And Arsenal, well, they're going to be taken back a couple of yards. Now this is when Villa are going to have to crowd out the goal mouth and hope that Arsenal are unable to find a way through. Bergkamp and Suka stand over it. Is there going to be a way through? Oh yes, there is! For Dabor Suka! Suka scores his second. They rushed out, but it was hit with such power and with such precision, as it turned out. And Arsenal are 2-1 up. Taylor. Delaney. Well, John Gregory saw his side take the lead here at Highbury, and not many teams do that. But they're now behind. Delaney's free kick. Overmars cut out by Alan Wright. Winterburn. Bergkamp on the chase. Suka lurking as well, he's on a hat-trick of course. Bergkamp trying to shake off Ekiog. And he was caught, Dennis Bergkamp then. Here's Winterburn meantime. Nigel Winterburn blocked by Gareth Southgate. Merson. Can't take your eyes off this game at the moment as Merson is sent tumbling by Grimondi, who gets a yellow card. Villa are going to have to take off David James, their keeper, as well. David James is being replaced here, and Villa are going to throw Peter Enkelman into the fray. Their Finnish goalkeeper makes his bow here. And what a game to come into. Highbury against Arsenal when you're 2-1 down. David James, who obviously twisted something in his knee when he took a goal kick in the first half, plays no further part. Southgate's free kick. The free kick that led to Arsenal's second goal, given against James for time wasting. Winterburn with the throw. Here for putting himself about Grimondi. And the cards are building up. Grimondi having just received one, now sees Taylor get one. I said he might not have seen it because he's still down on the ground in considerable agony. So Delaney, Merson and Taylor booked for Villa. Winterburn and Grimondi yellow carded for Arsenal. Elsewhere, Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 2 now at the Riverside, and the Latvian international striker Marian Pahars has got the goal for the Saints. Arsene Wenger and Pat Rice look on concerned, but they will have seen Grimondi stagger to his feet. Looks like he will be okay, although not just yet. Gary Lewin giving him more treatment. Now Lee Hendry. Keown snacks it away for Arsenal. Actually going to be a goal kick and the first touch for Villa's new keeper. Peter Enkelman, a Finnish under-21 international who joined Villa for £200,000 last January. Coventry 3, Leeds 3 at Highfield Road. Youssef Chipo's looked really impressive for Coventry. The Moroccan has got the goal. Southgate tripping Suka. Winterburn floats it in. Adams coming up round the back, but Enkelman quickly out to firmly catch it, and he probably needed that one. Although he's a pretty cool customer by all accounts. Arsenal waiting to bring Grimondi back on. They can't quite attract referee David Ellery's attention at the moment. The crowd doing their best to. Now Suka gets a free kick. Completed that time by Ekiog. Grimondi's finally been able to come back on. Arsenal back to their full complement. Ten minutes gone in the second half. Winterburn's free kick, Grimondi's header will drop behind for a goal kick in front of the North Bank stand here. Now David James here, dillied and dallied, held on to the ball too long for referee David Ellery's liking. Enkelman. Paul Merson. Helped on by Joachim. Here's Patrick Vieira. Little dummy from Suka, and Bergkamp up to his usual tricks here. He's shaken off Southgate. Bergkamp, Suka, who's on a hat-trick, finds Patrick Vieira, and he picks out Parla. Oh dear. It'll be an Arsenal throw. Grimondi. Dixon. Parla. He's going to have a run at Villa here. And here's Suka for the hat-trick! And Enkelman scrambled across. It'll be a corner. He's let it bobble behind the line. But he wouldn't bet against a double or Suka or a hat-trick today. That one was going wide. But Arsenal get a corner out of it. Arsenal moving into the kill here as Overmars sent it in. Brave header by Keown because there were boots flying around in there. Another Arsenal free kick. No surprise that Dennis Bergkamp should stand over it. Bergkamp so often produces something special in this sort of situation. Nearly, but not quite that time. But Dennis still a menace to Villa. It's Coventry 3, Leeds 4 in an incredible game at Highfield Road. Michael Bridges has put Leeds back in front. Dublin, former Coventry player, flicked that on. Away by Winterburn. Free kick going against Bergkamp that time for possibly use of the hand, in fact. That seemed to be what David Ellery was indicating. An hour on the clock. Aston leading by 2-1 here. Going to be a card. Another one for Villa. 4 Villa players booked now: Delaney, Ekiog, Taylor and Merson. Winterburn and Grimondi yellow carded for Arsenal. I wonder if we might see a red before the day is out. They do sometimes happen in Arsenal games. Here's Vieira. Winterburn. Grimondi found Bergkamp, but Ekiog ensuring there was no way past. Wimbledon have equalised against Derby. John Hartson on target. Wimbledon 1, Derby 1. Shuka. Lee Hendry. Villa struggling to dig it out at the moment. Here's Ray Parla. Now Lee Dixon. I wonder if John Gregory might consider a change soon. Shuka gave it away to Hendry, who was the grateful recipient. Julian Joachim now fending off Keown. Hendry. It's going to come out to Paul Merson. Delaney with a lot to do as Overmars tracks back. Adams. Totally unflustered, as usual. Ekiog. Southgate. There's a very late flag went up then against Julian Joachim. Tony Adams put his hand up, as he has been known to do once or twice in his career, and there was no flag, but it did appear a few seconds later. Martin Keown. And Wimbledon quickly turning it around against Derby. 2-1 they lead. Jason Newell with the second. And Villa are going to make a change. Alan Thompson coming on in place of Lee Hendry. Thompson, who was John Gregory's first signing in actual fact, at a cost of £4.5 million for Bolton Wanderers. He hasn't really quite lived up to expectation since joining Villa, though. Can he help them claw their way back into this one? Trailing 2-1. Vieira. Winterburn. Overmars. Winterburn. Overmars. And he's got the better of Ekiog, but it was cut out by Southgate. He was certainly in full flight, Mark Overmars, and that's a wonderful sight for Arsenal fans. I thought Ekiog might just get in here, but there was no catching him. Southgate intervened. Overmars sent it in. Enkelman with the catch. Only Julian Joachim is up. Dixon wins the header. And Vieira pops up, as you kind of thought he might, sooner or later. Bergkamp. Offside against Schuka. The throw-in rubber going against Joachim and in favour of Nigel Winterburn. Not a controversial free kick, giving Arsenal a 2-1 lead. David James penalised for hanging onto the ball too long. Villa had been warned about that earlier in the game. And from the resulting free kick, Davor Schuka smashed it in. Corderwood. Winterburn. And Overmars clipped by Ekiog. Referee wants a new ball. Southgate's free kick, aimed towards Dion Dublin. It drops for Alan Thompson, just on as a sub for Villa. Alan Wright tried to return it to Thompson. It cannoned off Parler. Julian! Taylor. Away by Winterburn. Delaney might be first to this, though. Ekiog. Merson. A mistake from Merson has allowed Parler to roam. Bergkamp. Vieira. Nigel Winterburn. Schuka's outside him, hugging the touchline. He's gone inside to Bergkamp, which is not a bad idea, I guess. And he brings Lee Dixon into the equation. Grimondi. Oh, that was a real stray one from Gilles Grimondi. Merson looking to release Joachim, but it needed something a bit more clever than that to get the better of Tony Adams. Adams presents it to Dublin, who was just caught by Vieira, who hasn't been booked so far today. If he does get a yellow card, he won't do for that tackle, but if he does get one, he'll actually have a one-match ban coming up. This is already on 4 yellows, incredibly. But no yellow card that time for Patrick Vieira. Treatment, though, for Dion Dublin. Arsenal are going to bring on the Brazilian Silvinho in a moment for Davor Schuka, the 2-goal hero. Middlesbrough 2, Southampton 2 at the Riverside. Paul Gascoigne scoring from the penalty spot for Borough. Penalty conceded by a former Arsenal man, Luis Boamorte, in that game. He handled on the line and was sent off. Paul Gascoigne converting from the spot. Middlesbrough 2, Southampton 2. Dublin's bubbling again, and Villa have a free kick. Arsenal just waiting on that substitution. Free kick rather wasted by Southgate. Sunderland 1, Leicester 0. Jerry Taggart of Leicester has been sent off in that game. Arsenal desperate to bring on Silvinho here, but David Ellery hasn't noticed as much yet. Calderwood. Away by Winterburn. Dixon, never one to give up on a cause. Calderwood's clearance goes straight to Kurimondi. Dixon trying to shake off Alan Wright. He'll get the throw, and Arsenal can now make the change. And listen to the reception that will be given to Davor Schuka here as he comes off to be replaced by Silvinho. Schuka still lacking total fitness, really, but still looking pretty good, you have to say. 2 goals for Schuka. Arsenal shoring things up with Silvinho coming on. Davor Schuka scored Croatia's winner against the Republic of Ireland last week as well, and I'm sure he'll play a prominent part in the Gunners' Champions League campaign, which kicks off in Florence in Italy on Tuesday. Tala. Vieira. Silvinho. Tala. Vieira. Nigel Winterburn. Overmars on the right-hand side. Duly sent into the stands, though, by Colin Calderwood. And Villa are going to make another change now. And it looks like Darius Vassell who's coming on, with Dion Dublin hobbling after that challenge from Vieira. So Darius Vassell is on in his place, youngster who is a really prolific scorer at reserve and youth team level, and for England's under-18s as well. Overmars, the return to Silvinho. Trying to do a little too much. Paul Merson, Gareth Southgate. Mark Delaney now. Villa's throw, ironic. Cheers from the Villa fans not far from there. But the decision actually went their way. Tyler, though. Overmars. Trying to find Bergkamp. Timely tackle from Hugo Ekiog. Overmars. He's away from Southgate here. He finds Bergkamp. Tried to float one over the keeper, but Enkelman was having none of it. Silvinho. Vieira. Silvinho signed for £4 million from Corinthians. He's already quite popular here at Highbury, even more so with this little run. Winterburn skips away from Delaney. Still Nigel Winterburn, he hasn't got any support. But his efforts appreciated by the Arsenal faithful, as they have been through the years, the considerable years. Difficult to see a way back for Villa, really. Here's Vieira. Oh, he's struggling to hang on to it under pressure from Taylor and then Vassell. But of course he did hold on to it. Dixon to Grimondi, who's done a solid job for Arsenal today. Some of the bigger names in the squad missing through injury, like Petit, Thaler, Bergkamp. Thaler teeing one up for Grimondi. It's come to Silvinho. Oh, took a deflection and a wonderful save from Peter Enkelman. And the fin in Villa's goal was certainly a flying fin then to palm that one over. Silvinho's blast cannoned off Calderwood. Great goalkeeping. So Dennis Bergkamp with Arsenal's corner as they look to make it safe. Calderwood met that corner though, and now Merson has it. Keown with a rather strange one back to Meninga, which Julian Cheritim is chasing. Calderwood. Thompson. Julian! Right. Sent it down the line. Darius Vassell chasing it. Goal kick is the outcome. John Gregory and his team have 15 minutes to salvage something here at Highbury. Arsenal leading Aston Villa by 2-1, but there will be much talk about the controversial free kick that led to Davor Suker's second goal, a free kick given not for a back pass, seemingly, but for time wasting. Now Dennis Bergkamp is going to make way for another Highbury hero. Kanu is coming on, all 6'4" 3/4 of him. Dennis Bergkamp has done well though, and there are plans afoot, because he doesn't fly, to drive him to Florence in time for Tuesday's Champions League match. They're going to make a decision on that this evening. So from the throw-in, here's Overmars. Here's Southgate. Quite a few goals around in the Premiership today. Middlesbrough 3, Southampton 2 now at the Riverside. Brian Dean scoring. Coventry 3, Leeds 4, and another enthralling contest. Now Silvinho. Looking for Kanu, cut out by Taylor. Paul Merson. Tony Adams has got that one covered. Also got a kick from Joetin for his troubles. Here's Vieira. Kanu. Overmars. Tala. Kanu. Tala. Vieira is in the middle. Tala goes for goal himself. And it stings the palms of Enkelman, who's done pretty well since coming on for David James. He's very highly rated at Villa, the young keeper. Kanu, Nigerian international. Grimondi. Each of a pass to Parla, who has Overmars nearby. Overmars finding Vieira. Arsenal on the prowl here. It's Kanu. Arsenal are toying with Aston Villa here and teasing them and tormenting them. Overmars. Parla! Pushed away by Enkelman, who's been a real star for Villa. And scrambled away somehow by Hugo Ekiog. Merson to Thompson. And he gets it back up against his old mate Nigel Winterburn now. Ekiog was a bit casual. Taylor poked a toe in. Delaney, Thompson. Alan Wright's in space on the other side, but they haven't spotted him. And Vassell went straight offside. Well, Peter Enkelman will be a new name for many of you in the Premier League, but he's fast making a name for himself. Series of superb saves since replacing the injured David James. Sunderland 2, Leicester 0. Gavin McCann on target at the Stadium of Light. Leicester with 10 men after Taggart was sent off. Sunderland getting a bit of a revenge, losing to Leicester in the League Cup semi-finals last year. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Arsenal 2, Villa 1. Arsenal looking for a bit of a cushion, though, in the closing stages. Tala's cross. It's going to come through to Vieira. There seem to be a few tired Villa legs out there now. Silvinho. Vieira. Dixon. Kanu. He's got it back. Thompson trying to put him out of his stride. Here's Grimondi. Ekiog took no prisoners with that one, and it actually came off Grimondi. It'll be a Villa throw. Alan Wright. Keown's header. Wimbledon 2, Derby 2. Seth Johnson, their summer signing from Crewe, has equalised for Derby at Selhurst Park. Lovely turn from Overmars. He gets it back from Parla. Kanu and Silvinho in the middle, but it dribbles through to Enkelman. Merson skipping over the challenge from Winterburn, but it'll be a throw into the Gunners. Who look set to join Villa on 13 points if they can see out the remaining 8 minutes in Highbury. Delaney's not down to Taylor. Ekiog. Thierry Henry is going to come on in a minute for Arsenal. Southgate prodded it forward, and here's Hassel. Merson. Winterburn says, "You're not coming past me, mate." What a tremendous servant he's been to Arsenal, Nigel Winterburn. Kanu shrugging off Calderwood. Parler. And there's no flag here against Overmars. And here's Kanu to wrap it up for Arsenal. You kind of knew that he would get in on the act. Villa looked in vain for the flag. And Overmars left the lanky Nigerian with a tap-in. Kanu can do. It's Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1, and Overmars' contribution in setting up that goal will be his last contribution of this game, because he's going to be replaced by Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry, another who played under Arsene Wenger in his days in French football. Two defeats so far this season for Arsenal, and they had become a bit of a worry, bearing in mind they only lost 4 all last season. Henry quickly into the action here. Well, in truth, it was difficult to see where a Villa goal was going to come from in the second half. But it did always seem likely, as it turned out. Silvino's cross, and Martin former so nearly added a 4th for the Gunners then. It could have been some sort of reward for the week he's had. Exceptional for England and for Arsenal. This is Kanu's goal though, and from the moment they broke clear of Villa's back line, figuring out what would happen next wasn't particularly difficult. Adams, Thierry Henry chasing, and Enkelman electing to slap it into the stands. Certainly this young keeper has made quite an impression for Villa, even though he's conceded a goal. Enkelman coming on for the injured David James. Vieira. Arsenal are in the mood. Here's Thierry Henry. He might still do it. It's cleared by Calderwood. Thierry Henry, the top scorer for the French at the World Cup last year. Came close to opening his Arsenal account then. Kanu. Just watch him. Didn't quite come off that time, but normally it does. Thompson to Merson. Villa set up a grandstand finish here. Marcel. Tried it out by Winterburn and Grimondi down there. He needs a little bit of help. He doesn't even get the corner. Which kind of sums up the way it's gone for Villa, really. Thierry Henry here, though. Well, credit to Delaney it was who got back to make the initial challenge. Henry signed from Juventus and going back to Italy this week in the Champions League to face Fiorentina. And Arsenal will kick off their Champions League campaign with a big boost here, because there were one or two questions being asked about them after losing a couple of games so early on. Joachim, Taylor, Delaney. Kanu. Calderwood concedes the free kick. Thompson gets a little talking to as well. The points are in the bag for Arsenal, even though they fell behind at the end of the first half. They responded immediately. Keown and Adams have been magnificent again for Arsenal, showing absolutely no signs of fatigue after their international adventures in the week. Vieira. Winterburn. Vieira. Parler. Kanu. Thompson's challenge deemed fair. Here's Alan Wright. Joachim just nicking in here ahead of Martin Keown. It was always going to be a difficult angle for Julian Joachim, and he knew with Adams and Keown closing in, he had to have a go from there. We're inside the last minute of normal time at Highbury. Arsenal leading Aston Villa by 3-1. Parler. Here's Kanu. Took a couple of deflections and Hugo Ekiog wasn't hanging about. Even though I don't think that would have counted as a back pass, bearing in mind the ricochets. Kanu. Dixon. Is he going to get his cross in? He is. And Delaney knobs it into the north. Seconds tick away. It'll be an Arsenal corner, which will be taken for Arsene Wenger's team by Thierry Henry. Henry's corner. Oh, and Enkelman spilled it, but then second time around he was okay. There will be 3 minutes of time added on here, but it's surely all over for Villa now. Arsenal back on track, back in business after their defeat at Liverpool a fortnight ago. They had in fact lost 2 of their last 3 games, with Manchester United winning here at Highbury. There was a win over Bradford sandwiched in between. Silvinho. Henry. Kanu. He slips it through to Silvinho. Thierry Henry. And he was sandwiched between the challenges of Ekiog and Southgate. And his first Arsenal goal not coming quite yet. To Vieira, who has Delaney with him. Winterburn is nearby in support. It's going to be a corner to Arsenal, who are just seeing it out here. But my word, they're having fun in seeing it out. Second corner in a short space of time. We've played 1.5 minutes of added on time. Not long left now. Can Arsenal round it off in style here? Thierry Henry's corner, but Enkelman will collect that once again. Delaney. Arsenal badly needed this victory today. More creditable challengers really for the title than Aston Villa. And with Manchester United winning at Liverpool, they didn't want to drift too far behind. There was talk of a crisis at Arsenal. Are you sure? Of course not. David James went off injured, and a controversial incident in which he was penalised for time wasting led to Arsenal's second goal, which was rattled in by Davor Šuker, his second of the game. Kanu came off the bench to seal it for Arsenal after they had fallen behind initially, to a great finish from Julian Joachim. The major
thank you, Ian Crocker. So Arsenal comes on strong in the second half. A second goal from Šuker and a goal from Kanu. We'll have highlights from this game. Arsenal beats Aston Villa 3-1. You're watching the English Premier League on Fox Sports World.
This is one of the most amazing things in the world. You can cut it, shape it, fasten it together, make just about anything you want out of it, and be really proud of what you've done. At Home Building Centers, we buy big, with more stores providing building supplies to people all across Canada. No matter how big a job you're facing, we can help you handle it. Home Building Centers, we've got your lumber.
Whoa, Mike! You know what that gorgeous new girl just said to me?
You have the best buns.
Yeah, how'd you know?
You're the most scrumptious thing I have ever seen.
Exactly.
You drive me crazy. You're so delicious.
Man, what does she do? Tell every guy this stuff?
Who? What stuff?
Oh.
Hi. When it tastes this great, nothing else matters. Double cheese with bacon. Twice the cheeseburger and twice the mouth-watering taste.
All right, I'll give it a shot, sure. Say, you want to bet?
Sport utility drivers, ready, go! Wow, that's V6 power.
The Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Bad weather ahead, shift into four-wheel drive.
The Grand Vitara is the only SUV in its price range with V6 power. Because in the game of life, winning is everything.
Suzuki, all you have to do is drive one.
Get a 99 Grand Vitara V6 from $23,495.
Hard, rock, paper, scissors, says shoot. You go. Diesel. I play. Go get it. Yo, y'all play yourself too much. When I get here, you're gonna see something. Keep dreaming. I stole you back up. God, help. I'm going back.
So Arsenal gets back on the championship challenge at Highbury by defeating Aston Villa by a score of 3-1. David James, the goalkeeper of Aston Villa, had some problems in the second half. A lot of pressure from Arsenal. An early attempt, hard shot there from Mark Overmars going over the top. And Arsenal, which scored right at the end of the first half to equalize, starts off the second half by applying the pressure once again. But Overmars drilling the shot over the bar. Here's Nigel Winterburn with a corner kick, and watch this by David James, makes the save, and then referee David Elleray rules that James holds the ball too long. It's a 6-second rule. He gives an indirect free kick, and it's an easy combination here. Bergkamp, Šuker, goal! Davor Šuker, his first start for Arsenal since coming over in a move from Real Madrid, and he'll have the fans saying, Nicholas who? As Šuker, his second goal of the game, and Arsenal has deservedly taken the lead. Then later in the action, just 7 minutes to go, Overmars sets up Kanu for the coup de grace. Arsenal from Kanu, his second league goal of the season. And Arsenal, after falling behind to Villa late in the first half, dominates the rest of the way. Kanu finishing it off. Arsenal rolls over Aston Villa by a score of 3-1. And let's take a look at our statistics for the game. There you see the score, 3-1. Saves, no saves at all for Menninger in the Arsenal goal, but Enkelman, who came on for David James, they combined for 8 saves. Villa, only 2 shots, Arsenal with 10, 9 corner kicks, dominated this game. Arsenal all the way, and they are back in the Championship Challenge after losing their last home game to Liverpool. So Aston Villa, although they started in second place, looks like this is going to be a struggle for them once again. Thank you for joining us to watch the English Premier League here on Fox Sports World. For all of our crew, I'm Ridge Mahoney saying goodbye.
Adidas English Premier League Soccer on CTV Sportsnet is brought to you by Adidas.
Psoriasis, seborrheic dermatitis, dandruff. Symptom, persistent, itchy, flaky scalp. Solution, Neutrogena T-Gel. It works. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo.
Whoa, Mike. You know what that gorgeous new girl just said to me?
You have the best buns.
Yeah, how'd you know?
You're the most scrumptious thing I have ever seen.
Exactly.
You drive me crazy. You're so delicious.
Man, what does she do? Tell every guy this stuff?
Who? What stuff?
Oh, hi.
When it tastes this great, nothing else matters. Double cheese with bacon. Twice the cheeseburger and twice the mouth-watering taste.
All right, I'll give it a shot, sure. Say, you want to bet?
Hyundai announces the 11th hour 1999 clear out. The perfect time to get into a new car. It's time you got into a 99 Accent. The best value on the road with 0 down and 0 security for only $169 a month. The restyled, more powerful Elantra is yours for 0 down, 0 security for only $229 a month. And now you can get 0% financing. Midsize luxury is yours with the 99 Sonata. Now for only $229 a month or with 0% financing. The Hyundai 11th hour clear out. The best time to buy a new car.
Are you ready for the hardest kicking 60 minutes of adventure sports on the face of the planet? Think you can handle it? Then check out Outdoor Sport. Weeknights at 9, only on the Outdoor Life Network. Live life outside.
It's a whole new game.
By any measure, it's considered a major in the world of international show jumping. Nations Cup Day in Aachen, Germany. The fans arrive early, some 60,000, to watch the horses and the riders get ready for one of the most major tests in the sport. Hello and welcome to Aachen, Germany. I'm Ian Allison, joined as always by Linda Heathcott for our coverage of the Mercedes-Benz Nations Cup. Linda, when you're in Germany and you're show jumping, you look to jump big courses.
Well, Aachen is historically known as huge, immense courses. Last year in 1998, Dr. Arno Gecko set really what was considered subpar. It was a very easy course. You jumped a lot. There were a lot of double clear rounds, and that is not what you want to see in a huge Nations Cup like we're going to see today. And this year what he's done is he's come back and said to the riders, okay, you gave me a little flack about the course last year, I'm going to show you a real test. And he's set a course that will be very difficult, very demanding, and big. He's also asking the horses and riders to really have their jumping boots on out of the start blocks.
It looks as though the major part of the test may be on the first half of the course.
Absolutely. You know, you jump 3, which is the big water jump. 4 ABC is a triple combination going away from home early in the course. And it is a huge scope test. And scope meaning that you have to have all the power and strength to jump the big wide oxers. But what he's done is he's set a very interesting combination in the fact that he's got the vertical, your straight up and down jump, then 1 stride to a triple bar, which is a ramped jump, and then 2 strides to your oxer, which is really your power jump. And when you put a triple bar in the middle of a combination, the horse's arc does change, and they will land in a bit of a heap. And so it will really take the rider's skills to really get the power going in those 2 strides to jump out over that oxer.
Well, of course, you've got the best horses and the best riders in the world here, so you expect to see one of the most demanding tests. Leading the American team today, anchoring their Nations Cup team, will be Olympic silver medalist Peter Leone. We had a chance to catch up with him while he was walking today's course.
Peter, it looks like a tough course out here. You've had a good week, though. What do you foresee as not only your chances, but the American chances?
Well, I think that we've got a shot. We've got 4 veteran riders. We've got a few amazing horses going today. I think we've got a shot. We don't have quite the team that we could have had at the beginning of the week, but we're out here to play.
Now, Anne's come with her horse Indeed, and she's in an unusual position, the lead-off rider. But how do you feel with Anne just stepping in like this, the shot?
Well, I think that Anne's a member of this team. I don't feel that she's stepping in. I think this has been part of the plan coming into this show. And I can't think of a person I'd rather have lead off than Anne Krasinski.
Now you've walked the course, your feelings on the course?
Well, I think it's big, meaning it's tall, it's wide. I think it starts out with a bang. I mean, there's no gradual warm-up to this course. By the time you get through 4 ABC, you're either having a good class or a bad class. And then the questions, although they become a little more simple, remain very tall and very delicate. And then the last line, I think, will be a little bit of a heartbreak alley. It starts out very hard, it ends very hard, and you only get a breather in terms of technical questions in between.
Now, your horse has been excellent all week, and going in here, how are you feeling?
I feel good so far. I'll know a lot more after 4 ABC, but I'm encouraged, and I think that we've got a good squad today.
Thanks very much.
Peter Leone, who will be riding in the anchor position for the United States today, alluding to Heartbreak Alley, that final line down the end of the Nations Cup course. But heartbreak has also been clouding the American team because their leadoff rider, scheduled leadoff rider, McLean Ward, has been suspended and booted out of Aachen for an alleged rules infraction.
Well, and the Germans are very difficult. He had an infraction that was talking about equipment. He wasn't wearing the right equipment, and so they banned him from the tournament and asked him to leave the grounds. What happens then is that the Americans have had to close ranks, and they have to use Anne Krasinski, who is a top ace rider, but she's riding her young and up-and-coming horse, Indeed. He's a very talented stallion, but the Problem is that I see is that when you go to a big competition like Aachen, it's like going to the Olympics. You really prepare in your mind and you visualize what the competitions are that you're going to compete in. And Anne wasn't prepared to ride Nations Cup. Now she's going to have to be start-off rider with her up-and-coming horse. I think it's a very difficult position even for a top ace like Anne Krasinski.
Well, she's been to 3 Olympic Games. She is a seasoned veteran, but perhaps she wasn't ready to go today. We'll have to see how the young Holsteiner stallion responds to the pressures of Aachen. 10 nations start the day, only 6 advance to the second round. Big pressure to start off.
It is, and it's very important. What the riders really focus on is that how the format works is that you have 4 riders, and each team is allowed to drop 1 score, so they take the top 3 scores. The riders try and focus on using their score. They never want to be the drop